Right, here is a bit of a different video. I've been asked to be at the NEC show to go see the Motorhome and Caravan show 2025 of Renogy. And they've asked me to show me getting an invite, coming down on the train, having a look around the show and having a look, explore, see what I like, and then visiting their store to see what new products they've got coming out. So let's do that.
And I was specifically asked to show me being invited. So here's a dramatic reconstruction. Editing away. Oh, I've been invited to the NEC Motorhome and Caravan Show 2025 on behalf of Renogy to produce a video about being invited, attending the show and visiting Renogy's stall to see what new products they got come out. How much is your fee? Well, my fee is
$1 million.
In all seriousness, I actually want to go to the NEC and I want to see the Motorhome and Caravan Show because one, I like working with partners. I like tech, so it's a good time of year, and especially since there's an Arctic trip coming up. And I've just bought a new van, well, a new to me van for the next van build, which is an MAN TGE, which is a very popular van base at the minute. And I know for a fact the NEC is going to have loads of MAN TGEs and VW Crafter conversions to go see. So sounds like quite a good invitation, really. Make a video which makes equipment for electric vans, and they kind of want me just to make a video about the show itself, so I can go see some cool stuff, get some ideas, check out their stall, see what's new, and go for there. Seems like a win-win for everybody. Right, let's go. Let's also ask Joe. Joe, do you want to go to the NEC on behalf of Renogy?
Yes, Alex.
Agreed, let's go.
So this place is absolutely huge. So opposed to trying to show you everything, I'm going to wander around and find my top things, mainly because I want to find ideas for the new van build, and there's plenty of MANs and crafters here. And I'll show you the top 5 things, so here we go.
One of the first people I wanted to go see was Cactus Vans. They're a bespoke van builder and they do a small volume and their builds are exquisite, but I'm not actually interested in their build specifically, but I am interested in they're using the MAN TGE as the base and they're using their own style of roof pod. Specifically, the MAN TGE, especially the 4-wheel drive version, is shorter than my Transit inside, and well, I don't really fit. Whilst Cactus Vans don't sell their roof pods to the public, there are 2 other companies which do make roof pods. Problem with the roof pod, functionality, it's great, but I think they can look a bit silly from the ground, which is not the aesthetic I want to go for. Cactus are using roof racks to hide the silhouette from the ground, and that's what I wanted to see. And I'm actually pretty impressed. You almost can't see the pod. So that's an idea I'm going to pull across into my van build with the pod. It's using a plate style roof rack to sort of hide the silhouette from the ground and all the functionality for all the things I want to mount. I have just found the Renogy stall and I am booked in to go chat to them later on, but it looks like they have some interesting stuff, which isn't out to next year, but that'll be later on in the video.
So while there's lots of brand new motorhomes and stuff here, I'm not really interested in that style of vehicle personally, so we're going to be looking for the MANs and the crafters and all those sort of other more bespoke builds, using the van as the base to see if we can find something which I want to use in my van.
And there is no shortage of MAN bases, there are loads. So let's go through some of the different companies and layouts that I saw. I've not completely decided on my layout and I have a few ideas, but that will be in later videos. One of the first sets of MAN layouts which caught my eye was by Hillside Leisure, having the shower room behind the driving seat, which is very similar to my current van, but also having a big open area at the back of the van. And whilst I like multifunctional areas, I don't like the idea of having to make and assemble a bed every day. But I do like the idea of having a more relaxing chill area at the back of the van. I also thought having the overhanging countertop and the overhanging fridge, so when the bed was made that your feet still had space to go, was actually a pretty different idea. For me, with my current van, one of the most important parts for me is the bed is a multifunctional space. So the bed tucks away during the day, it folds up. So for the new van build, I want to do an electric raising and lowering bed, which there are plenty at this show. But I don't think any of them have done it how I intended. Most of them are just allow it to move up and down by a foot, probably to put bikes in from the looks of it. Mega Mobile was probably the first one I came across based on the MAN medium wheelbase. One of the layouts I'm considering is sort of the standard double bench seat shower room bed area, and then the kitchen in front of the sliding door. But the bed in this one only goes up by about 2 foot to the bottom of the cupboard, so it's more to fit a bike underneath it than to make the area underneath it useful for a seating area or the ability to stand. Next up was Exploria's vans. 4x4s again on the BMAN and with a raising electric bed, but again very much the same thing, only to allow bikes to fit in opposed to making it a multifunctional space. Wandering around I saw many other versions of the electric bed. Only one company had a slightly different idea, which is actually what I was envisioning. Well, only just. My idea is still takes the whole concept a lot further. I've talked about wanting a roof pod, and I've talked about wanting a bit of an open area at the back. I want one sofa, and I still want a big workbench with a bike slide in it. Adria folded their mattress from the sides inwards so that it could go a little bit higher against their cupboards. I'm going to put a roof pod, which adds almost 30 centimetres extra height. I'm going to have the sides fold inwards, and then the bed can seamlessly disappear entirety into the roof pod. It also means my bed frame doesn't need to be anywhere near as wide because it's going to sit on the worktop below and the back of the sofa area when it's in the down position, and then you unfold the mattress sides, leaving me full height space below. Another reason for the disappearing bed is I'm 6'2", so I need a lengthways bed. I'm just too wide, even really with pods, to sleep widthways, I find. One of the other things I'm still trying to decide is the location of the shower room, behind the driver's seat, or potentially I like near the sliding door area. CMC had a version near the sliding door, only I would probably bring the shower room quite forward and block off maybe a third to half the door, which means I could then have a giant worktop along the back of the van, including the kitchen, like I currently do, and then the double bench seat behind the driving seat. Regardless of whatever layout I go for, I still plan to have the sliding insulated bulkhead door like I have on the current van.
One of the other things apart from just layout is I need windows, fans, aircon I'm planning for the new van, so just sort of seeing what's about really.
First obvious one for me is the Max fan. I love it, but I've got potentially an issue with the new van layout.
So here's an interesting one. Whilst I've got the big old Max fan on the current van, I'm putting a roof pod on. I haven't got enough space for potentially to put the Max fan on, but it looks like they've got a compact version which I've not seen before, so potentially the idea. Or the domes, which I know a few people have already got, and they can go side mounted or top mounted. But the dome is another potential option as well, because it's a lot more space saving. Skylight ideas. Although I do like a skylight with black frame opposed to white, that's quite nice.
I also wanted to go check out Project Yonder because I've been chatting to them a little bit, and they've got some beautiful sprinters, but it was the electrical system I was specifically interested in. I'm planning on going 48 volt in the new van, and one of their current display ones is 48 volt as well.
Right, spent the last couple of hours wandering around here with Joe, checking out some of the MAN TGEs and just seeing some cool layouts. And it's 4 o'clock now, so Renogy have asked me to pop by the stall, and that is the whole point of this video anyway, to see the new stuff they have got on offer, because I've actually got some quite interesting bits and bobs going. Let's see if I can actually find them again. If you're not familiar with the NEC show, it is huge, like kilometres to actually walk around this place and hundreds of trailers. But I think I can see a little sign over there for Renogy, so let's go see what they've got to offer. Now, if you follow this channel, you know the sort of equipment I install in my van. I have been for years.
And they'll be using it again on the new van.
And that costs significantly more. And I'm not blind to that. Many people get into van life and build vans for different reasons and different budgets. Renogy has been very popular for that. And they're far cheaper equipment than some of the other companies that I've used in my vans. So it's a good opportunity to actually sort of show other kit you can get or want to go in a different direction.
Now, to set the scene a little bit here, I was asked to come along to the stall to show some of the new stuff coming out for 2026. Some of it is already public, other things are not released yet or even on the website. Now, there was lots of stuff on the stall, and I was kind of given free rein to film and produce what I wanted, so there were two main things which stuck out to me. The ReGo system, on the new expansion of it, and some of the new inverters. Historically, I found the Renogy equipment quite isolated from each other. There's no communications between different systems, and that's what the ReGo system has changed. But an electrical system communicating with itself isn't exactly brand new, so I'm not going to go on about the variation of different DC-DC chargers and MPPT solar controllers. But what I think is new and interesting is how the user interacts with it, and it's more than just an electrical system, it's being a campervan ecosystem.
Something I quite like is the ability to have a touchscreen with all your smart features grouped, but also have a physical switch panel as well, so you can turn things off with the switch panel.
And for me, the crowning bit of it is the Renogy Vision screen, and that specifically is linked to the smart distribution box, which is all of your smart controlled 12 volt fuse circuits, but also things like water tank sensors, temperature sensors, and plenty more. It looks like the Renogy Core 1 is the main brain of the system, with things like the Vision and the distribution box going on after it. Kind of feels like a smart home system with some specific campervan features, like a vehicle leveling mode. And whilst I can't find much out about it, in their booklet it does mention a bunch of wireless accessories using the Zigbee communications protocol, so one of the devices might be a Zigbee hub.
I quite like the scene selection feature. Much like you've got smart lighting at home, you can make a scene for your lighting. With this system you can do the same as specific circuits, so lighting and other circuits. So the going the way one turns all the lights off, but leaves things like the fridge running or the inverter running if you need it to do that. Cool little features like that.
And the second thing for me was some important safety changes to the inverters.
Now, it is great to see Renogy have done something I think is very important. This is one of the most popular Renogy inverters, and I see it so often used wrong and incorrectly in vehicles. These inverters are designed to have an appliance plugged into it. You can't be plugging a consumer unit with an RCD and MCBs into this. It's not how they're meant to work. Also, they don't have a ground neutral bonding, so that RCD doesn't work. You can't be running hidden cables from this style of unit around the vehicle.
And now, while someone might say you can do your own external down the line neutral ground bonding, that is still using the inverter outside of its planned and intended scope.
But the new Renogy inverters, very importantly, have a neutral ground.
Just going to pause it here. In the UK, I would usually call this NE, so neutral to earth bonding, but the American terminology would be neutral to ground bonding. So NG is more of a regional naming opposed to being wrong.
Bonding, which means you can wire these in, because also they're not plug sockets designed for class 2 appliances. You can wire a consumer unit in it correctly for the vehicle and have a working RCD and have your cables and plug sockets run throughout the vehicle. Unfortunately, these get used a lot with consumer units plugged into the plugs, and then these run throughout the vehicle, so you can't do that within UK regulations.
And it doesn't work anyway because there's no neutral earth bonding in them. Also, there are a variety of new shaped battery models available, including solid state, and one of the things that was for me nice to see in person was the Shadow Flux N-type solar panels, which I've seen quite a few people using recently. The main points for them is they're using N-type solar cells, which is a newer, more efficient style of solar cell, and the whole Shadow Flux part is about a far more advanced and efficient system of bypassing shaded areas compared to normal conventional solar panels. I also saw a couple of pre-made boards on the wall, which brings me into the next section.
Right, so one of the things Renogy want me to see is there's a few OEM manufacturers here using the Renogy kit. One of them, as a sign, is no, not that one, Auto Trail. So they're using one of their upgrade options. As you can have the Renogy Lithium Pros, which in general I think for coach-built motorhomes, the ability to have some more cutting-edge, more bigger electrical systems is actually a pretty new feature for them. Whilst self-builders have been doing big electrical systems for years. Right, we're next off to see Camper Kings, who have got some of the panels which Renogy have pre-built and we saw installed in. Just us and Renogy can't actually find where Camper Kings are at the minute, as in this area is kind of the hush. We're kind of lost. Oh, we're blocked in by more vehicles.
And we also found Auto Sleeper, who have the Renogy battery as an upgrade option as well if buying. And we came across Vantage, who are using some of the Renogy Core 1 system in their motorhomes and campervans. I do particularly like the levelling feature. And eventually we found who we're actually looking for.
And then behind me is Camper King, who have got the pre-made sort of electrical boards in their vehicles and the big touchscreens which control from the lights, the fridge, or everything really, which is like the sort of systems I like playing with in vans. If you're not new to the channel, you know I like playing with electrics and smart tech. Right, and this is the Camper King's version of it in use. It's got its own logo in, and sort of showing what different things are doing as well, which is a nice way of looking at it. Systems are going on: solar, alternator, DC-DC, inverter, charger, distribution box, Wi-Fi connectivity, warnings. I know, overall, nice little speedy using little interface. What's even more interesting is you can turn your lights on and off, and you can even dim it down, turn your what the inverter's doing, the fridge, and then again, as I showed earlier, you can have your different scenes to turn different circuits on and off. It seems like quite a thought-through system.
Whilst I forgot to show it earlier, it seems the Renogy app, and there's also some sort of desktop portal to access it as well remotely.
And that's me saying goodbye to Renogy. It was actually really nice to meet them and see some cool kit. Although it was painful when she did introduce me to a bunch of these big motorhome brands who use Renogy batteries or have them as an upgrade option as an influencer. That was a bit painful. But overall, really liked the touchscreen interface and how much you can use it with. So if you like this sort of video, check out some of the links in the description below for Renogy. Some of that new kit which will be available next year. I mean, there's a lot of some of that kit is 2026. And thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.